Hey everyone, thank you for joining us again. My name is Spencer Osborn. I'm the pastor of the high school ministry out at the Fallbrook campus. So excited to be bringing you the Daily Dose this morning. The other day I was going through my email just trying to clear out some space in some of my inboxes, and I came across this promotion that I hadn't recognized earlier from an online provider of ours. And it was a promotion for a contest that I could enter into to win an all expenses paid, all inclusive trip to the Caribbean, to any of the resorts that were participating in the contest. And I thought, oh, this might be interesting to look into, get a little vacation. That'd be a lot of fun. And I was just thinking, it's not very likely that I'm going to win, but why not enter just for fun? But as I was reading through all the information and just thinking, wow, this looks great, just all expenses paid, airfare, the stay in the hotel, everything, and all these resort amenities, this looks fantastic. And then I'm reading the small print at the bottom that says some restrictions may apply. And I thought nothing of that at first until I started filling out some of my information and going through the process of entering into the contest. And then I get to the end, and sure enough, I'm reading through the rules and restrictions that apply, and one of them says, not valid for California residents. So I thought to myself, well, there's about 10 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. What a bummer. I was so excited for this all-inclusive trip that I potentially could have won, but it's not valid for residents of California. And it made me think of the book of Galatians, which is where I want to read today. And for some backstory here, the book of Galatians comes from a series of letters that the Apostle Paul wrote to several different churches in the region of Galatia. And during that time, the Christian movement had actually begun as a Jewish messianic movement out of Jerusalem, where you had these Jewish Christians. But by the time Paul came onto the scene, there were actually more non-Jewish believers than there were Jewish believers. And it had created a bit of dissension within the ranks. It had created a bit of this rift where these Jewish Christians were telling the Gentile Christians, the non-Jewish Christians, hey, actually, this gospel message that Paul brought to us, this isn't for you. There's going to be some rules and regulations, some restrictions, if you will, that are going to apply before you can accept this gospel message. And when Paul writes these letters, you can tell the tone that's coming across here with the frustration in, no, the beauty of the gospel message, the very perfection in its simplicity is that this is for everyone. There are no rules or restrictions that apply here. And if you open up into Galatians, I want to start in chapter 2, verse 16. He says this, excuse me, we know that a man is not justified by observing the law, but by faith in Jesus Christ. So we too have put our faith in Christ Jesus, that we may be justified by faith in Christ and not by observing the law, because by observing the law, no one will be justified. So basically right here, he's reminding them, hey, the gospel message by its very nature is perfect. And it's perfect in its simplicity. There's no need to add anything to it. Because if we try to add something to it, some rules, some regulations, some conditions that may apply to this, we're taking away from its very nature of perfection. And he goes on to say in, chapter 3, verse 26, he says this, you are all sons of God through faith in Christ Jesus. For all of you who were baptized into Christ have clothed yourselves with Christ. There is neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. If you belong to Christ, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. If nothing else, I hope that this is just a reminder that the gospel is for everyone. There are no rules or restrictions that apply. There is nothing that we need to add to it to make it even more perfect, because there is no such thing as more perfect. The gospel is for everyone, and its authority does not depend on man-made qualifications. And in the same way, your capacity to share that message is not dependent on man-made qualifications. Thanks for joining us, church. We'll see you next time.